Pay your staff less than your colleagues? Lose them all. I'm going to try to keep this kind of vague because 1. I like the elected official as a person, just not as a boss. 2. I like what they are trying to accomplish in terms of policy, and 3. I don't want this to blow back on me because I'm still in this field. I have spent most of my career working for elected officials. Over the course of my career, I have worked for elected officials at the federal, state, and local level in progressively more involved policy roles. In between, I have done some higher paying private sector jobs. But I have twice taken pay cuts to return to public service working for electeds because I genuinely love the work. The flip side of that is that it has been hard to afford to live in my area on that lower salary. Earlier this year, I was still making less than my last job after 2 years in this office. In early spring, we were talking with one of our colleagues on the shared staff, and she made an offhand comment about how our office had the worst pay of any office for our legislative body. She ended up sharing information about how much other offices pay their staff with our whole office. Turns out she was more right than she knew. Our office had some of the most experienced staff of any office, and bar none the lowest pay, even relative to less experienced offices that were less active. Our highest paid staff other than our manager didn't crack the 40th percentile on our floor. Despite 20 years of experience, I topped out in the 30th percentile for pay. With 8 years relevant experience, I would estimate the average is closer to 35 years experience for my level of pay. Colleagues I had worked with previously who I knew had 3 fewer years of experience were making 20% more than I was with similar or less involved responsibilities. So I did a full analysis of the pay on my floor relative to experience and set up a meeting with the elected to discuss salary, which did not go well. I was told that aside from annual increments there would be no pay raises, and essentially that I should be happy I had a job. The fact that I had been loyal was irrelevant, as was the fact that anytime there was some weird issue we wanted to explore, I was able to find a solution. Me making less than colleagues in other offices with less experience was not their problem. I was told that if I wanted more pay I would have to find something new. So after telling my colleagues about the ugly meeting, I did exactly that. I started applying for other jobs in our government. Found one that I was highly qualified for. Got an interview almost immediately. Aced the interviews. And 3 months later, the hiring process is a joke. Started with a 65% increase in take-home pay. After hearing about how poorly my salary meeting went, my colleagues didn't bother having their own meetings and just started their own searches. Come the start of the next legislative body after the elections, the only person left will be a new hire that started right before this nonsense went down, and a new comms person who started right after I left. Anyone with institutional knowledge about how the body functions, or any knowledge about the policy issues they care about, has either left or has accepted a new position. Honestly, it's hard for me to think this elected is actually in it for their constituents if this is how they treat people in their circle. This person you like as a person said you should be happy you have a job? Thinking face. We have different ways of filtering out the people we like. I was told that if I wanted more pay I would have to find something new. This is how almost all businesses operate today. Loyalty means nothing. Quit regularly to keep your pay commensurate with your skills. I've even been hired back at the same place more than twice. The secret was working elsewhere in between. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. They absolutely deserve all of the chaos that is about to drop into their lap if that's the way they treat loyal, experienced employees. Have we finally reached a point where civil servants and political staffer aren't using "yes, minister" as a guide anymore? Ask yourself, what would Sir Humphrey Appleby do? As someone else mentioned, I would seriously reconsider voting for this elected official. I would doubt that someone that fails to support their employees would bother to fight for their constituents. Admittedly, I don't have visibility on the complete situation based on just the Reddit posts. But it strikes me as someone who believes more in the policies than how those policies impact people. The elected official is also negligent as a manager, let alone as a leader. They have undermined their own ability to serve their constituents by neglecting and driving away the personnel required to provide service. But you're supposed to work for cheap, so the rich man can get richer. All salaries should become public, so many are being taken advantage of. I guess you could say this legislator ran their office like a business, DT-style tears of joy. Hey op, sounds like you're still working for this person. Doing everything to defend this person in the comments. Sounds like this person showed you exactly who they truly are. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. From just this tale, it seems this person is a boss who will say what's needed to get in power and then do what they want with said power. I was told that aside from annual increments there would be no pay raises and essentially that I should be happy I had a job. The fact that I had been loyal was irrelevant. If there's a takeaway to get from this story, this is it. Loyalty to a job or company is a relic from times past. That will get you nowhere. Change jobs often and demand your worth. Forward the salary information to the two new people. I'd love to get some popcorn and watch the fallout of this. After working with elected officials in the UK for 4 years, this is not surprising at all. They only care about their outward appearance to voters. Anybody working under them is a slave. Doesn't the legislative body pay the staff? It's hot even the politicians' money. Seems like stupid leadership since the staff does most of the work and the legislator leads the team and gets the credit. Out of curiosity, where do the funds that pay an elected official's staff come from? The best part about this being vague is we all have to confront the possibility that this could be a politician we, individually, not like this whole support. I can see this attitude not being restricted to any particular party. Quitting isn't MC, it's just quitting. You would think that, of all people, an actual politician would know that loyalty begins at good compensation. Seems typical for politicians. These are the same people that raise minimum wage, while also only having unpaid internships.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.